A beauty queen steps into court, and suddenly everyone's asking the same question. Where did all this money really come from?
He's wanted in the United States, and the Mexican government has said it will start formal extradition proceedings, although legal experts have indicated that the process could be a lengthy one.
She played innocent, lived lavishly, and stood beside a monster. Emma Coronel's story was never as glamorous as it seemed. And here's where it gets interesting. Before the headlines, before the cameras zoomed in on her outfits, Emma Coronel barely existed in the public eye. She wasn't giving interviews, wasn't flashing money, wasn't chasing attention. For years, she was just a quiet figure in the background. El Chapo's young wife, rarely seen, almost deliberately invisible. That all changed in 2017. The moment El Chapo's trial began, the spotlight swung hard in her direction. Cameras followed her every move. Social media dissected her clothes, her expressions, even the way she walked into court. Overnight, Emma went from unknown to unavoidable. People weren't just watching the trial anymore. They were watching her. How could someone claiming ignorance afford designer outfits, luxury travel, and an untouched lifestyle while her husband faced life in prison? Was she naive, protected, or something else entirely? That curiosity didn't fade. It exploded. And Emma, whether intentionally or not, became part of the spectacle. But Emma wasn't stepping into a normal marriage, far from it. By the time she entered El Chapo's life, he already had a long, messy history with women. 3 marriages before her, 23 children. He once openly said his only real addiction wasn't drugs or power, it was women. And then comes the detail that makes everything murkier. El Chapo never legally divorced his first wife. On paper, that means Emma may never have been his legitimate wife at all. So why did she stand out? Emma was younger, much younger. She arrived at a point when El Chapo was already a legend, already untouchable, already dangerous. Their relationship wasn't built in the shadows of ambition. It was built at the peak of his power. That imbalance matters. It reshapes how people see her role, her choices, and the life she stepped into. And it raises a hard question. Was Emma different, or just the most visible?
Recordar que esas son personas que les dieron vida, ¿no? Entonces, pues ellos van a decir cualquier cosa o para tener algún beneficio, entonces, pues no me clavo mucho en esas cosas.
And this is the part that makes most people uncomfortable. Emma Coronel didn't meet El Chapo at some private party or business event. She met him during a teen beauty pageant. She was 17 years old. He was closing in on 50, nearly 32 years older than her own father. That age gap alone raises alarms. But it gets worse. There have long been allegations that El Chapo pulled strings to ensure Emma won the pageant. Money, influence, fear, whatever it took. In cartel territory, power doesn't ask for permission. From that moment on, the imbalance was massive. El Chapo wasn't just older. He was one of the most feared men on the planet, surrounded by armed sicarios, untouchable in his world. Whether Emma felt attraction, pressure, fear, or a mix of all three is impossible to know. But choice looks very different when one side holds absolute power. And no, cartel culture doesn't excuse it. This wasn't romance. It was predatory. Wealth, violence, and control shaped the relationship from day one, and that shadow never left. Then came the wedding, and the timing says everything. The day Emma turned 18, she married El Chapo in a lavish ceremony. This wasn't low-key. High-ranking Mexican politicians and military officials were reportedly among the guests. Emma also came with cartel blood. Her uncle, Ignacio Coronel, was one of Mexico's most feared drug lords. This marriage wasn't just personal, it was strategic. Power married power, and the alliance made business sense in the cartel world. When Emma gave birth to twin daughters, she did it in California, not Mexico. That wasn't random. She had dual citizenship, giving her children legal protection El Chapo could never offer. Then came a quiet but telling detail. The father's name was left off the birth certificates. No paperwork tying the girls directly to one of the world's most wanted men. That decision speaks volumes. Emma may have claimed ignorance, but she clearly understood the danger. At the time, there was a $5 million bounty on El Chapo's head. You don't take precautions like that unless you know exactly who you're married to.
Pues muy contenta de que a pesar de la situación en la que está pasando, de lo fuerte que es todo esto para él y para nosotros, verlo que sonreía o que se emociona, pues es una tranquilidad que me da como que...
During their marriage, El Chapo was arrested more than once, and somehow kept coming back. The most infamous moment came in 2015, when he escaped prison through a mile-long tunnel dug from beneath his shower. Straight out of a movie. The tunnel didn't end randomly. It led to a property purchased under Emma's name. That detail erased any illusion of distance between her and his operations. In 2016, the run ended. El Chapo was recaptured and extradited to the United States. This time there was no escape route, no tunnel, no second chance. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. For El Chapo, it was the end. For Emma, everything was just beginning. And then came the trial. And Emma didn't act as anyone expected. Day after day, she sat in the courtroom stone-faced, barely reacting, barely blinking. No tears, no visible shock, just calm, almost rehearsed. But outside the courtroom, different story. She smiled, she waved. She even blew kisses at El Chapo across the room, like this was some twisted love story playing out on a stage. When witnesses testified, Emma dismissed them as liars. When journalists pressed her, she accused them of inventing stories. What really hooked the public, though, was her appearance. Every day, a new designer outfit, perfect hair, perfect posture. People weren't just watching the trial anymore, they were watching her.
Que está muy mal psicológicamente, que se siente muy mal porque por lo que me han dicho los abogados y es lo que me preocupa, pues cómo va a llegar a un juicio bien si está mal de salud.
And this is where the room went cold. One of the most chilling moments came from the testimony of El Chapo's former bodyguard. He didn't speak vaguely. He described torture in excruciating detail. Men burnt with irons, skin fused to clothing, bodies scorched with lighters. Victims were kept alive for days, only to be executed. There were public executions, messages left as warnings, and absolute cruelty. Rival cartel members were dismembered. One man's face was cut off, placed on a soccer ball, and left near City Hall. A brutal signal to anyone watching. The courtroom fell silent. People shifted uncomfortably. Some couldn't look up, but Emma did. She didn't flinch, didn't react, didn't look away. Her calm, even indifferent presence spoke louder than words. For many, the illusion of the innocent wife was shattered. Then, she leaned fully into fame. During the trial, she wore designer outfits daily, turning appearances into fashion moments. Once El Chapo was sentenced, her lifestyle went fully public. Mansions, private jets, luxury trips, exotic restaurants. Her Instagram exploded with hundreds of thousands of followers. She even appeared on a VH1 reality show, lounged with the son of a Colombian drug lord, and teased plans for a fashion brand. The nickname Narco Barbie stuck, and she embraced it. That behavior was dangerous. In cartel culture, wives are supposed to stay quiet, hidden, protected. Emma did the opposite, public and provocative. Even her mother, Blanca, warned the media that Emma's life was at risk. Prosecutors then revealed text messages between Emma and El Chapo. Mundane, casual, horrifying. Cartel operations mixed with grocery lists, jokes about their children joining the cartel. No shock, no hesitation. These messages showed awareness, comfort, and complicity. Meanwhile, El Chapo's serial infidelity may have influenced her behavior. Journalists suggest Emma's public transformation was a mix of liberation and revenge. Protecting him no longer mattered. She started stealing the spotlight. Extravagant parties, fashion lines featuring his image, and luxury displays became her new identity, exposing the stark contradiction of denying his crimes while profiting from them.
Well, the wife of Mexican drug lord El Chapo is now out of federal prison. Emma Coronel was released yesterday after serving 2 years for drug trafficking and money laundering charges.
The lifestyle at last caught up with her. In February 2021, Dulles International Airport in Virginia saw Emma Coronel taken into arrest. This time, clarity was not present. She admitted to planning to distribute narcotics, launder money, and participate in illicit financial operations. Investigators discovered she had paid a $2 million bribe to return El Chapo to a facility he had once escaped from, thereby assisting in planning another jail escape. The strategy fell through. Many of Emma's possessions were seized, and she was given 3 years in prison. The fairy tale had formally finished. The most hazardous question now arises. Authorities are hoping Emma will collaborate and give information that would result in charges against senior cartel officials. This road, however, exacts a price. Her life could be in great peril if she speaks. Silence might safeguard others, but not her future if she does not. Whether this turns out to be her final revenge is still unknown. Either approach, the risks have never been greater. Emma Coronel lived between luxury and terror, loyalty and betrayal. Whether driven by love, fear, or revenge, her choices exposed the truth. She was never innocent. The Narco Barbie era is over, and the real cost of that lifestyle was far higher than designer labels. So what do you think? Victim, accomplice, or something in between?